Hey everyone, I've been wanting to do this video for a long time now. Just to get you up to speed, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer back in November. He opted not to have any treatments. He hasn't done any chemo or radiation. Instead, he's just wanted to have the best quality of life that he could possibly have. So today I've asked him what his mindset has been and what has really kept him going this long. So with no further ado, if I can figure out how to turn this camera around, I will talk to Dad. I should have probably figured this out before. There we go. There we go. All right, Dad, you're on. So, what has been your secret, Dad?
Well, I followed people that had cancer and that had treatments and that, and realized that sometimes the treatments are more painful than the disease itself. So I decided that I'd opt for a shorter time perhaps, but quality time. And I've been able to spend some real quality time with my family, which I appreciate so much. They have been wonderful, and so has my wife been excellent in supporting me through it. And we just get together, and I keep telling the kids, just be happy, be peaceful, be jolly. Don't worry about it, because we all know from the day we're born that we're not going to get out of this life alive. And the day will come when we just have to say goodbye to the world. And I thought I lived 82 really good years, enjoyed a large family that are all very supportive. So I just stayed positive and kept telling myself, I can beat this, I can beat this.
Do you remember the first thought that you had when you were diagnosed?
I don't really remember exactly the first time, but when they told me that I had 4-stage cancer, I just kind of sunk. And I thought, what? And it was a little while before I started to try to sort it out in my mind as to what it all means, and begin to wonder just how many more days or weeks or months or years I had. I knew it wasn't going to be years. So I just thought, this is what I've got. This I can't do anything about. With other people not being cured but taking all these treatments and being sick more than half the time of the life they did live, I thought, why not just opt for going along without the treatments. And I decided that if and when the time comes that I can't stand the pain, I may take a treatment or two. I'm not sure, but I don't think too far ahead.
So on that note, what kind of goals do you set for yourself? How did you start out setting goals, and
well,
what sorts of things do you look forward to?
I'd have my bad days, and I'd wonder how long it was going to last, and then I start to set little goals, and I'd say, well, I'd like to live long enough to bring a cucumber in from the garden. And then when that happened, I had to set a new goal, and I opted for bringing a tomato in, ripe off the vine. And each one of those little goals would give me a certain amount of pleasure in doing it. And then I went for the pepper. We had a pepper in the garden, and finally brought that one in.
And what's your next one?
My next goal is to reach my anniversary, which is not too far away. We were married in '59, and we've been married 59 years. Very kind of a unique time, and I really look forward to next week.
On your anniversary.
Anniversary will come up.
So do you think that that's been a really positive thing, setting these goals and wanting to achieve those things?
I do think that. I think it very much and very clear. And I always had faith in God. And when I was diagnosed, I decided He brought me to this earth, and He owns me, and He can take me whenever He wants. So I just set my mind to the fact that God is in control, and there's not much we can change when He wants to do something like that. So I just said, okay, Lord, here I am. Take my life and use it to encourage others. And
What would you say, Dad, if there's somebody watching right now that maybe is in the same situation as you, and they're like having a tough time, maybe struggling and accepting what's happening? What advice or wisdom could you send to them?
well, for one thing, you have to have a positive attitude and work very hard on accepting what your situation is. Like so many times we can't change our situation, but we can certainly change how we handle that situation.
That's huge.
So that's what I encourage people to do. And I get comments back that, you know, when we have a talk with somebody, they'll say, well, I was very encouraged. And it doesn't just encourage them, but it also lifts me up because I feel useful. I'm still useful because I can give somebody a little bit of advice. They can take it or leave it. I always leave that open to just whatever they want to do with it. But I tell them to the best of my ability how to handle a situation like this. And just don't worry about it. Just, I don't think about like the past. I always had this little saying that if you live in the past, you will forfeit your future. So you just don't think about all the bad things that happened in your life, but start to concentrate on what you enjoyed, how much you enjoyed it, how long you've enjoyed it, and eventually you'll get to the point where you'll appreciate the life you had. And that's a big part of it, just appreciating what you have at the moment.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know what, Dad, maybe we'll end it there. And I know that there's lots of other wisdom and stuff that you can share. So we'll maybe do another video in the near future and we'll share some more of your wisdom. So thank you for sharing that.
You betcha.
Awesome. Love you.
Okay, love you too.